Burt Lancaster, you will take part on the 28th in the Washington Walk organized by the Negro Associations for Racial Equality in the United States. Why?
Well, the purpose of the walk, or the march as it's called, at this particular time it is expected that the proposed civil rights legislation that the President Kennedy has put before Congress will be voted upon. And the purpose of the march, and we hope to have hundreds of thousands of people, is to give strong moral support to his program. In effect, to say that we hope that it passes. That is the underlying purpose of the march.
Don't you think this demonstration might give rise to violences provoked by extremists of the two communities?
I don't really know. It is hoped that the march will be orderly. No one can really say what will happen. In the nature of all social changes, they are not affected casually and easily. And there may be difficulty, there may be trouble. I'm inclined to think that probably there will not be, but it'll be interesting to see. The President is going to meet the marchers at the ceremony that will be held at the Lincoln Memorial. And I'm inclined to think that his presence may have a sobering effect on those elements that might want to create trouble from this. But I'll know better when I go there.
Are other film stars to take part in this demonstration?
Yes, there will be quite a few. As a matter of fact, I have a list here of Charlton Heston, Tony Franciosa, Marlon Brando, myself, Tony Curtis. Gregory Peck has indicated support, but David Susskind, Steve McQueen, Gene Kelly, Jack Parr, Steve Allen. Mr. Allen may not be able to go because I happen to know that he's under doctor's orders and he may not be able to leave. Robert Wise, director, Doug McClure, George Jessel, Judy Garland, Debbie Reynolds, Harry and Julie Belafonte, Sidney Poitier, Diane Carroll, James Baldwin, Lena Horne, Nat King Cole, Paul Newman, Sammy Davis Jr., Robert Goulet, Lorraine Hansberry, Ruby Dee, Rita Marino, Dick Gregory, Blake Edwards, and I know that Kirk Douglas has also accepted.
Burt Lancaster, does racial discrimination exist in show business?
I think perhaps in every walk of life there is a certain amount of racial discrimination, as you put it. The general feeling, my observation has been at least that in show business there tends to be, shall we say, a much less amount of it. Show people generally are gregarious and are inclined to view people by, to gauge people more by their talents and their personalities rather than their colors. But I think the root of discrimination exists on all levels to some small degree, at least in all areas, and in others, of course, to a very large and conscious degree. In the sport world, as you know, I mean, the Negro has made a great impact in professional sports in America, and that phase of it certainly is getting better all the time.
As regards the integration problem as a whole, do you think the Washington Walk will be a major step?
Well, I think all of these things are some sort of help. You know, what is actually going to be achieved, whether the civil rights program will actually pass or not, I don't know, but I think that it's bound to help to apply pressure to those members of Congress who would be opposed to it. And also I think it's bound to have some effect on the overall conscience of the nation. So if it doesn't happen then, it's going to happen a little quicker sooner.
Burt Lancaster, do you think absolute equality between white and black people in the United States is to come very soon?
I have no idea how long it'll take. Frankly, I don't think it will come soon. I think it's not desirable, but I think it's mandatory that eventually there is this kind of equality. And I think this, incidentally, extends not only to the United States, but other portions of the world. I think that unless all the races really begin to integrate, that We're in for difficult times constantly.